Well, hello, Shell Point. My name's Melissa Mitchell from the Legacy Foundation. I'm here with your favorite guy, Adam Hines, VP of Operations. And, you're used to seeing Adam give construction updates and campus improvement information, but we're doing a little crossover segment today because two things are really coming together when we talk about the Ready Resilient Together campaign. Many residents are familiar with the Island Commons being the centerpiece of this campaign and really transforming our new Island Commons into our thoughtfully engineered state-of-the-art hurricane shelter. That represents about $15 million of our $20 million campaign. But the second portion of that campaign is $5 million for campus-wide resiliency. And so I'm so pleased to report that we're at $17.9 million of our $20 million goal. That's 90%. And so as we're getting very close to the finish line, I wanted to bring in Adam and really talk about this campus-wide resiliency piece. So Adam, when we talk about campus-wide resiliency, what does that mean for Shell Point?
Well, as we have found out over the past several years with all these storms that we've had and having to shelter and losing power and taking on water and everything else, we have found that, and everybody who's been here knows this, for the first probably 48 hours, you're on your own. Because if you think about it, even though we've contacted EOC, everybody knows where the storm damage is, the only employees EOC really has working are those that were sheltering there, right? All their staff is in their home, at their homes. Their same situation we experience here is, are the roads clear? Can you get to Shell Point? And they experience the same thing. So resiliency to me is, okay, we come out of the shelter, we have a plan for whether it be backup generators, whether it be flood panels that we put on commercial buildings that we can manage for that first 48, 72, 96 hours on our own. And yet we're still contacting those agencies that can help us, particularly the county utilities, and what's the status and what are they seeing as far as damage, and how soon do they expect us to regain power and come back online.
And we'll go through a list of some of the resiliency features, but really what I've understood is after every major storm event, you and your team have gotten together and said, if we had X equipment or X resources, how could we have prevented or avoided the damage or recovered and gotten back into action much sooner? So, kind of a silly question, but when we talk about backup power, why is that such an important focus?
Yeah. So obviously everyone knows we have several dozen generators around campus. All the healthcare buildings have enough generator power and fuel to last 96 hours. The chiller plant has generators. What we need is a couple things. One is to have cooling spaces for people. So if we don't have power, where can residents go to cool off and have backup power running? So a couple areas we've thought of to do that. We can put what's called a transfer switch, and you'll hear transfer switch a couple times. That is connected with the electrical system and the generator, that if we do fail, it goes to that and kicks it on. So we would put a transfer switch on the Wright Wellness Center, for example, and bring in a portable generator, a very large portable generator, that we can plug into the building. So that transfer, it's just, think of it like a plug. You plug it in, it's not as simple, but think of it that way. Plug it in, that generator kicks on, runs the building. If the chiller plant is running, and which they have backup power, we can provide air at the Wright Wellness Center. Also, there's a kitchen there, so we can operate that kitchen. Now, this Island Commons is our main focus, right? And the kitchen will be running there, although we are putting a transfer switch on that building for a backup to the backup generator, just in case that would fail or a system part would go down. Another area where we would want some fundraising and donations is the church, right? The church on the island is another spot that residents can go to cool down. It has a generator now, but it doesn't carry the full building. We would want a full building generator on the church. With the large space in the sanctuary there would be plenty of room for residents to go to that building. And when you're running the full building, you can charge your phone, you can get on your iPads, you can do everything possible. So those are the two buildings that we'd want to provide backup power. in addition to what we have now. The other thing would be flood panels on commercial buildings. So let's just say, let's use Ian as an example because it filled up every elevator pit we have. If we had flood panels on the elevator pits, in the commercial buildings, in the multifamily buildings, which we can do, and we had flood panels on their electrical rooms. Now, would some water have probably gotten in there? Yes. Would it have filled up the pit? No. So that would just speed up the process of getting the elevators operating again if we had power. It took several weeks to get all the elevators up and running. So those are just a couple of items that we would need power for. The other thing with backup generators, I'll circle back to backup generators, is our lift stations. Once residents go to their homes, the toilets start flushing. Well, in order to keep the line moving and keep the lift stations going from lift station to lift station out to the county lift stations, and that's where the county comes into play because they need to get on site with their generators and move it around and start pumping out the lift stations. If we don't do that and have those portable generators that we can move around for our lift stations, and I believe we have about 7 of our lift stations, we can move those around, pump those lift stations, and keep everything moving smoothly to the county lift stations, then it's their responsibility to take care of it from there. So
I've said that this isn't the most glamorous campaign.
No, it's not, but it is critical.
It would be even less glamorous if
we've had to rent generators afterwards, and it's not the easiest thing to do after a major storm.
No.
So if we had our own, we would store them off site, bring them in, and then we would maneuver them around as we see fit.
So we talked about flood panels and generators, but when we're talking about some of the other smaller items that might seem, minimal in comparison to power and flooding, but what are other things that we're putting in this campus-wide resiliency initiative that add comfort for our residents during the sheltering experience?
Well, we've heard, and I tried to sleep in one, and it was tough, was the chairs that we have. We have the 2,000 chairs. Well, there are pads that can come with those chairs. So that I believe we have on our list 2,000 pads for those chairs. The other thing is we have over 300 cots now, and we would have additional pads for those cots. Mainly those would be used in the healthcare up at the Larson. But to have those pads would be great. The other thing we need to do is we need to up our location and warehousing ability for spare elevator parts and generator parts for a storm. The other thing we're doing is going to have, I'm kind of circling back to the backup power again, we would like to put a backup generator on the off-site laundry facility. I can't tell you how much money and time we spent after Ian outsourcing linen and laundry and for healthcare buildings and whatnot. So if we had that building on generator, we can operate our own equipment, and it just makes a whole lot of sense to have that. The other thing we're going to do over at that location is store generator parts and hurricane supplies. So we need additional racking for that building.
Sure.
So.
Now, when you mentioned the Larson, there's a generator on the roof that we are looking to enclose further.
There's really 3 generators out there in the enclosure. And if you'll notice as you're driving to Shell Point, if you look to your right, you'll see that the half of the the generator enclosure is open. We want to enclose that because we have found, and particularly with Ian, is that those generators that were enclosed, not just the enclosure, the sound attenuation, but with walls, for example, the springs, full enclosure, but ventilation for the generators, perform better. And they weren't getting hit by debris and the wind driven rain. And so it just has worked out a lot better for us. So we want to enclose those 2 sides and get that completed.
And then also for the Larson, we talked about storage and maybe transport equipment for some oxygen tanks and other medical supplies.
Yeah, that's simple dollies and whatnot, but it costs money to do that and to upgrade the dollies. The ones we have in the garage are much older, so if we had the tanks on dollies, it's just easier to move for our staff as well. Speaking of the garage, yes. The current plan is to, once the Island Commons is open, and if we get a storm, we certainly don't want that to happen, but if we do, that the second floor of the garage would become a pet shelter. And I know a lot of residents have asked me questions about that, as you as well. But that is the tentative plan right now. The other thing we're doing at the Island Shelter is, if you've been in that building, you have to recruit young, strong guys to close that door. That door is super heavy, as it is great, but to get it closed just takes manual turning and all that. So we are looking to replace the winches on there, make it electric with a backup manual if we had to. But, you know, to really kind of speed up the process on that and hopefully save our staff from the rehab program of cranking that thing up and down. So.
Well, you know, we are close to the finish line here.
Yeah.
And so as we enter this final phase, you know, this campaign really just allowed us to accelerate things without adding them to the capital list. And so what would you say to encourage our residents to really come alongside us and help us complete this campaign?
Well, first of all, any donation anyone gives, we certainly appreciate, and we're extremely grateful for just the generosity of all our residents at Shell Point. And so I would say, if you have any questions about any of this, as all of us do, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Melissa, and we'll certainly get you the answers that you need and what you can help with. It's going to make, like I said, we may never use some of this, but when the time comes and we need to, like I said, I'll go back to this again, that first 48, 72 hours is critical, not only for the campus infrastructure, but to get you back to your homes. And whatever we can do to make that happen, we want to do it. But we need to stabilize the campus first and make sure everything's running, whatever's running is running as it should, that there's no danger, and then we can start implementing these things. And whatever anybody can donate would be terrific.
That's what part of this campaign, one of the pillars is ready. And that's not about predicting the future. It's just preparing for it as wisely as we can. And I commend you and your team for being so thoughtful in putting together our resiliency features. And so I want to remind you, everyone, again, very grateful for those of you who have already stepped up and gotten us this far. We are, again, 90% of our goal. So as we enter this final phase, if you at all are interested or have any questions, as Adam mentioned, please reach out. My phone number at the Legacy Foundation is 239-466-8484. And we have 2 upcoming informational sessions that I invite you to participate in. You can come and ask questions and hear the latest progress about the campaign. They are listed on WellZesta. They are on Wednesday, March 18th at 10 a.m. and on Friday, March 20th at 3 p.m. So please don't hesitate. Spread the word. Let's work together. Let's be ready, resilient together, and get across the finish line. Thank you so much, Shell Point.
Greetings, Shell Point. I want to give you a quick update on something that's going to be happening on site at the construction site on the island. It'll happen probably tomorrow, at the latest Wednesday. So as we mentioned, the fence is on the north side of Vista K, is moving back to the north to take over the sidewalk. As part of that work, we are going to, and with the site guys there, we're going to remove the shuffleboard court. There's no real use of the shuffleboard court, and the plan is to remove it. The pickleball court will remain, so the pickleball court will remain in place, but the shuffleboard court, which has been there for a while, and it's in need of major repair, and again, the use is just not there to keep it, warranted to keep it there. So we're just going to remove it, and the only thing we're going to do is put down sod. So it's just going to be a grassed area, and I just want to let everybody know that was going to be happening. So when you see it happening, you'll know what's going on. So that will happen either tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, or Wednesday at the latest. And the site guys will be there to do that. So thanks very much for your understanding. We appreciate it, and have a great day.
All right, we're here with the second part, and we're here with Richard Metzger again. Richard designed this with his team, and I can't wait. This is a 3-bedroom executive model here at Shell Point, around 2,500 square feet.
It's
So
large.
I tell you what, if you have a problem getting rid of things, or you got to make sure you have a large closet,
Right.
this is the apartment for you.
Definitely.
So right when you walk in, I automatically feel calm.
Great.
It's very beautiful colors. I love this. You said that you designed this as, what was it called?
Organic coastal.
Okay.
So, like I said, there's all different kinds of coastal. This is what we call organic coastal. It's a little bit updated. It's still neutral. And a lot of people think neutrals are boring. They are not boring. We hit it with a little bit of color. You'll see hits of sea glass throughout. But what's most important in organic coastal is that we bring a lot of natural elements, whether it's natural woods, rattans, rope. There's so much texture in this unit that makes the neutrals feel so updated and interesting.
Well, I just love it. The first thing that you see is this wonderful table, entryway table, but it's got that texture to it.
Right.
And it's beautiful, but then you incorporated some color.
Correct.
As well.
Right. I love little hits off the neutral of this sort of sea glass color. Again, talking about coastal, sea glass. And then it all doesn't have to be matchy-matchy.
Right,
So
right.
we're bringing in all sorts of tones of neutrals, from a little bit of coppers and dusty golds, like I said, the sea glass, and then of course wood and natural is the foundation, even when it's the littlest little detail like this wood chain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then in here, this room, sometimes people will use this as an office, as a place where they maybe will play music, things like that. But the majority of people use this as a place where they eat.
Correct.
Either a breakfast area or just a place for just casual get
Right,
together. What
right.
I loved about this is, again, when you're talking about the textures and the differences, I mean, this is amazing.
Exactly.
And then how it all pulls together, like you said, with the sea glass and everything. I love this.
One of the things is this has a few design tricks in this room. We use a glass top table, which keeps this room feeling light and airy, as opposed to a heavy wood table that would sort of
Okay.
weigh down the room.
That makes sense.
And then the chairs, we went for a generous, comfortable chair that almost feels like a lounge chair, even more so than a dining room chair. So you can pull up your laptop and sit here, for hours, or have just your coffee in the morning.
Sure.
So, but again, it's all about layering. I think it's so important to see all the elements, the different shades of blues that accent here. Even the placemats where they're rope and they're woven, it has sort of a hand touch to it.
Something very easy,
Yes.
just to give it that extra touch.
Right.
So coming in here, we're in the kitchen now. And again, with this kitchen, this is a wonderful sized kitchen for people to be able to still cook if they want to.
Correct.
Or for parties, because I love how they did the countertop all one
level, right.
And then I see that you incorporated a little bit of sea glass.
Yes, correct.
So tell me what you did here with the tile.
So again, it's a beautiful quartz countertop, but we wanted to give this a little bit of a pow and a little accent. So we use sea glass tiles in the back. It's barely their color, but it gives you so
And
much
I like
interest.
the little texture.
Has a little texture, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then again, layering your kitchen, you can put decorative elements. It does not have to just be a toaster, so,
Sure.
we brought all those hand woven elements, the wood, I love cutting boards. So for a great charcuterie night, so really bringing that all together. And I have a design trick, a chandelier. So instead of a traditional fan in the kitchen, we do a beautiful chandelier that has a fan built into it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, and then again, too, is because usually what comes with it is a white fan.
Right.
Which is fine.
Correct.
But by just adding this little touch, it's bringing some warmth in.
Correct.
And
it talks to the natural elements that
yeah.
we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And I think it's a conversation piece. So.
Oh, yeah. And I can still feel the air.
Correct.
Very nice. So we're going to come through here with the 3-bedroom executive on this floor. This is on the first floor. So by being on the first floor, it does have a knee wall, where the ones on the higher floors have the glass floor to ceiling. But what's nice about having the knee wall is Some people have a kitty cat that likes to walk across and likes
Right.
to enjoy the sun. But it still gives you a beautiful feel with the trees and everything.
Correct.
So this also, the lanai has been enclosed. So it's all glassed in, so it makes it larger.
Right.
We still wanted separation. So
Right.
tell me how you separated this to still feel open and everything.
So obviously that's one of the big challenges today with sort of open floor plans is how do we create zones that you
Right.
can live in, not just one big space. So what's great about this enclosed lanai idea is that I can bring you a little seating area. It can be just a reading nook, a conversation area. So it's not all shoved into one area.
Right,
So
right.
again, because this is a sort of a modern take on coastal, we did a lot of curved furniture. Everything has that soft edges and it doesn't feel hard. So that's
Right.
also is giving you don't even realize that's giving you that sort of soothing moment.
Right, right.
But so we created this area, which you could have a TV here, etc. Great wraparound look. 2 sofas that sort of wrap around, give you that softened area. If you had a TV here, it's fantastic. Or you can just sit around and have great conversations. So then we went wow on a dining room area with this large table that could seat definitely up to 10 people. It has extensions, which is a cool idea because every day you could make this smaller if you wanted and expand it for Thanksgiving dinner. So,
Right. And I love the light here
Right.
too.
yeah, again, the light, people underestimate the importance of lighting and what a chandelier and lighting does for a room. So
Oh,
this
yeah.
really just goes wow again in
Oh,
here.
definitely. Now, another thing that I've noticed is something that it did cause a little bit of a marriage problem with me, was wallpaper.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I am never doing wallpaper again. But guess what?
It's back.
And so, but I love it.
Correct.
And they say it's much easier now to have wallpaper than it was when we were doing wallpaper.
Right.
And this is nice because it's soft, but it still gives you
Right.
a nice feel.
So we've done a lot of wallpaper in this unit. Wallpaper is definitely back. It gives you so much wow and texture for the space. It's not a crazy color. Again, it's
No.
a neutral, but it's just giving you some dimension and definitely setting this coastal mood.
Oh, yeah.
Super easy to care for. It's a vinyl paper, so you don't have to worry about it. You're going to see we did it in the bathrooms too. We just love wallpaper right now, and please don't get into any marital problems over it. So it really is a wow. So,
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't have to worry about it. I told them if I ever do wallpaper again, we'll make sure someone else takes it off.
There's always therapy involved
That's
in,
right.
in
That's
decorating.
right. That's
so.
right. Now, the other thing that I notice here is this entranceway. You can come in through the kitchen, but then you can also come in through this walkway through here. I love what you did there. I think this is great. Tell me about it.
Again, it's almost like directly off the beach. It's like beach twigs, beach wood that's been put together sort of into art. And it's just a great way to frame this long hallway because it's very blah. And this just gave a lot of wow right there. Let's say in your own unit, maybe this is a family wall of pictures, or it could be anything.
Sure,
But I think
sure.
it's important to dress it, and make it mean
Not
something.
just leave it plain.
Well, leave it plain,
Yeah.
correct. So.
Very nice. And then too is again, you did the sea glass colors and you brought it in, which I think is nice as well.
Right. So again, like I keep saying, neutrals don't have to be boring. So
Right.
just adding these little touches of the sea glass color just pops the whole room. And of course we put literal sea glass right here. So
That's right. No. So if we go here, we're going to go to the bedroom. The big bedroom. And with the big bedroom, if someone tells me that they need a lot of closets or that this is not enough closets, I think they need to get rid of some
Oh yes,
things.
then we need an editing process.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So in here, I've always said we always do a king size bed so that people know that it can fit. Tell me what you did here in the bedroom because I love this. Again, you did a different type of wallpaper.
Correct. This wall we accented with a really subtle wallpaper. Again, it's coastal in feeling. It's sort of the whole seashells and sea life. Again, it's neutral, but we popped the bed with the sea glass color again. It just looks like your dreamy hotel suite.
Oh yeah, and I love these lamps.
Right. Again, bringing in those natural elements to hand-woven rattan. And
in my
texture,
place.
texture. I can't say it enough. If you're going to do neutrals, look at the art, the vases, and even the dresser. Everything has a level of texture, so it makes it go from bleh to really exciting.
Now, one thing I noticed too is you only did the wallpaper on one wall.
Correct.
Is there a reason why
I
you
think
did
that
it?
I don't think you need to envelop the whole room in wallpaper.
Okay.
It really is sort of for years
of an
we
accent?
it's an accent. For years we talked about that accent paint wall. Now it's that accent wallpaper wall. You know,
Okay.
as what's new and happening. You'll see in the bathrooms we went for the gusto and we did the whole room. You know, because I
Okay.
think it feels sort of cozy.
I like it that it's only on one.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then here, this is in the bathroom. So one thing you said is that you went with gusto in here with the wallpaper.
Right.
And I love this.
Right. So again, it's a textural wallpaper, but we did, in this room we accented, but as you walk into the larger part of the bathroom, we did the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
And it just looks fantastic. So,
I really like it. Now, one thing that when you did this and I
Uh-huh.
got to come and tour it, I was like, this is my favorite thing. I love this. It used to be that we had a bathtub
Bathtub,
here,
mhm.
and a lot of people aren't using bathtubs anymore, which makes sense.
Right.
And so you put this in here. Tell me what you did here. I think
So-
it's perfect.
again, you got a lot of closet space, so that means you got a lot of clothes and you want to look great. So we did a little vanity here. So this is like your dream little makeup area. And what's great about it is movie
Oh, look at
star.
that.
Yeah. So you can do your makeup, do your hair, etc. You're sort of out of the way. It's a little dreamy. Yeah.
Oh, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and like you said, it's just over here. It's got the different
Right,
lighting.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and it's a great way, you know, what used to be a bathtub that nobody used, now it's actually a working, functioning space.
And sometimes some people will put a bench here
Of
because
course.
it helps to get dressed.
Correct.
So it's not you don't only have
No.
to put up a makeup. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is just our idea for
That's
this
right.
unit.
But
so.
then again, the nice walk-in shower.
Correct.
And then the 2 walk-in closets.
And you have a lot of closet space here.
Oh yeah,
so.
definitely. Now we're gonna walk this way because I thought this was wonderful what you made use of this room
Right.
here.